introduce us?
Sure. My name is Suzanne Bell.
Yep.
Part of the activities for a Mars mission would be, besides the geology and exploration, building and maintaining that infrastructure for life on Mars, for human life on Mars. So for humans to come and future missions to come, they want to start building out that infrastructure.
On the Mars surface, this is a fuel cell. This is a weather station. This is a solar panel. These are just different elements that we have on the Mars surface that will come into play as the crew does their timeline and does different maintenance and activities that we expect from Mars.
So the Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog, or CHPEA, it was developed as a 1-year Mars surface simulation with the intent that we can have crew in isolation and confinement with Mars realistic restrictions, and we can really start to understand how those restrictions are associated with their health and performance over that year. So
We don't have any of that planned right now. If you want to see the medical bay, and then maybe we'll continue.
So this is where they'd come in from Mars, or in our case this sandbox, and they'd have their the sand and the dust on them, and they want to get it off before they get into the hab. So they go from, in the airlock, the dirty room, they take off their dirty clothes here, they go to the clean room, and then they go to the node and they can go into the hab. So that's why there's multiple doors here too. So this is the airlock.
Is that time delay. So we're mimicking the time delay for Mars in 22 minutes. So now you're getting, psychological and medical help with, besides the isolation, confinement, and the sheer distance, would be things like being able to get along. So when you're in a small habitat with, 3 other people, that can wear on you over time. And we have different experiments and what we call analogs like this that have been for shorter durations. There's been a handful that have gone over a year.
Right, they have risk to the structures, but so we are expecting they will have to exercise quite a bit to maintain their performance. And we also have a room over here set up where the crew member who is responsible for helping the crew member on the extravehicular activity would sit. So they
have regular meetings with psychologists around this. It's on the other side of that window is external to the habitat. And there actually will be a thermometer. We draws that one up. As far as they're concerned, it's robot.
There's a robot device that is basically going to be one of the measures for cognition, and it simulates the Canada arm on the International Space Station. So it simulates that use.
Doing out in the sandbox, and one of the things they'll be doing in those, on those, is looking here, where they can process these different samples and prioritize what to send back. And so they'll bring back samples and do processing here, both as individuals and as dyads or teams, and do activities such as what will we prioritize to bring back to Earth, since payloads are always limited, and how much they can bring back. And so this is another aspect of the work they'll be doing to be Mars realistic.
Awesome, thank you. Don't hesitate to be talkative.
It's hard.
Can
I look at you?
Me. Try to look at me.
So they will, during some periods, have the opportunity to grow some crops, and they will be able to consume those crops. So it would be like salad type of crops, so pick and eat, leafy greens, tomatoes, things like that.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
With 1/3 gravity.
It would still be limited though, water's still. It was meant to go from more private to communal and then to work. And the intent is to kind of separate their work from their private space as much as you can in this extremely limited space. Are you ready to move to the next room? So now we're moving into the workspace. So the habitat was 3D printed. That is one of the technologies that NASA is looking at as a potential to build habitats on other planetary or lunar surfaces.
Yes, we still have 2 people. This was just the first one. Over again.